Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm very excited for today's video, if you can tell. I'm like a little kid in a sweet shop today. So the other day, the first trailer for the new Disney Cruella DeVille movie was dropped, starring Emma Stone, and when I tell you I have watched it a ridiculous amount of times, I'm not joking. Just watching the trailer and seeing Emma Stone as Cruella DeVille, oh, perfection. So from the moment I saw the way that they had done Emma Stone up as Cruella DeVille, I was obsessed, like screenshotting like every single like freeze frame that I could of her face because it's just perfection. So I did a wee poll on my Instagram story. If you're not following me, the link is down below. Shameless self-promo. Ding ding ding. I did a poll on my Instagram story and asked if anyone would want a tutorial, and it was a unanimous yes, which I'm very thankful for because I think I would have done it if people voted no anyway. So I actually have done a Cruella DeVille makeup look way back, I want to say like August, September time. Again, it's on my Instagram. Go follow me. So one of the many reasons that I am excited to do this is because it's Disney and I love Disney. The reason I'm excited to do this is because it's Disney villains, and in my opinion, Disney villains are the best characters in the movies. Like, you just can't beat them. They're so good. Another reason that I'm super excited for this movie and the makeup in general and the hair is because it has been designed by a makeup artist that I really look up to in the industry. She's called Nadia Stacey and she's done films like The Favourite, she did Downton Abbey, she did Eddie the Eagle, she did the first Captain America movie, and she's also the makeup designer for the Everybody's Talking About Jamie film, which is coming out this year, I think. I don't know. That is based on the theatre show. It was based on the documentary that I love, that I saw Michelle Visage in. It was a wonderful day. So yeah, I really admire her work and what she has done in industry, so I'm very excited to see what she does on this movie. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, I've already washed and toned my face. I'm just going to go ahead and moisturise just to prep my skin to make it nice and smooth. The thing I loved about this makeup was that although it didn't directly represent the makeup that's seen in the animated version or the previous live action, it was still distinctly Cruella. Like, you could tell from looking at it, that's Cruella DeVille. The hair helps as well, but I thought it was really fun. I think it's nice when makeup artists do their own twist on it. Like, at the end of the day, this is a more modern film, so the makeup in turn has to be slightly more modern. However, in saying that this film is more modern, the makeup to me is very reminiscent of like 70s like punk makeup. The way they use colour in this is really interesting to me because there's not a lot of colour, but where there is colour it's very obvious. Obvious, but it's also very impactful. Maybe that's me just being a nerd. Right, let's start. I think the thing to bear in mind when I'm doing this makeup is I do not look like Emma Stone, unfortunately for me. So I'm going to do the style of makeup that she has on, but it might not look exactly the same because she has a very specific eye shape that is not the same eye shape as mine, and the way that the makeup is, it might not look the same, but we're going to do the same technique anyway. So I'm starting the eyeshadow look by priming my eyelids with a white base. The makeup on Emma's eyes is very monochromatic. Once I've primed, I'm just going to go in with a white eyeshadow and set underneath my brow bone. I'm actually just going to set the lid with that as well because it's going to be white eventually. So we might as well get it started now. Once I've set my entire eye space using that white eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with an angled brush and a dark grey shade, not quite black. I'm not going there yet, just calm down a bit. And I'm going to sketch in the shape of this eye look. So it's very winged out, so we're going to wing it out. No. And then it's kind of like a kind of cut crease kind of vibe where it drags into that inner corner. So I'm actually going to start in the inner corner because that's where I can see the most definition in that shape. So I'm gonna start there, and it's quite rounded and high up in the inner corner, and then drag it down. So then I'm just taking a really smaller blending brush and I'm going to use that to buff out the edges of this and start to build up some pigment on these shapes that I've drawn in. So you can apply the shadow first and then blend out if that's how you like to do it. I personally like to blend as I go, especially when you're using like monochromatic shades, because they're a lot harder to blend. So then I'm taking a much smaller brush. This is like a wee pencil brush, and that same grey eyeshadow, and I'm knocking all the excess off, and I'm very lightly going to start blending out this inner corner. It kind of touches the brow, but very lightly blending it out. But yeah, I think the interesting thing is with this storyline, or what I looked like, what I gathered from it was by no means a redemption story. It was basically her going psycho. Full stop. I think that's the thing as well, like when they did Maleficent, and although I don't condone what she did either, she had a reason. Like, she had everything taken away from her and the love of her life cut her wings, and at the end she kind of seemed more like a hero than a villain, which I don't mind, but I think if you're going to do like a villain backstory, then don't make me feel sad for them, kind of. Maybe that's just me. Taking another wee small angle brush in that black eyeshadow, I'm just going to sketch over where we had already put those lines, just to give us another idea of the shape that we're going for. So then I'm just going to take that black on a kind of another wee pencil brush and start to build up slightly. And I'm going to take it into the crease as well. So you've kind of got like a wee V shape going on there. Then I'm just taking all the excess product off of my brush and blending it with the grey. And you can go back in and add pigment as you want, but just it's better to add little by little rather than packing it all on and then not being able to blend it out. Another thing I loved about the trailer was the colour story of it and how it was so monochromatic with like those like wee hints of like yellows and reds. I love it when a film or a TV show uses colour strategically like that. I don't know, maybe that's me being a nerd again. So when you think Cruella, the automatic thing that I think of is the black and white hair with the red lip, which they've stuck to. But I like how they've like incorporated that throughout the colour scheme. I personally find it interesting. That might just be me though. So that is the general shape of the eyeshadow. It's kind of got this like half cut crease here, really winged out, it blends in. Obviously Emma Stone's eye shape is very different to what my eye shape is, so it does look different on mine, but this is the general shape that they went for. Base makeup for Cruella is actually pretty simple. They seem to have paled her down a lot. Emma Stone is already fairly pale, but she looks like very pale in this. And I think they've maybe done a tiny wee bit of sculpting, but that is it. Like, there's nothing on her face. She's obviously got like foundation and concealer on, but there's nothing like colourful on her face. No bronzer, no nothing. So we're going to try and do that today without making me look like a psychopath. Face is actually kept really matte, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply a mattifying primer. I'm also going to take a tiny bit of a pore filling primer just onto the centre of my face and tap that out, just to try and make my face look a bit smoother than it is. Before I apply any foundation, I'm going to go ahead and cover up the spots on my chin because they're annoying me. So I'm going to use Dermacolor, which is a very high coverage concealer, apply it and then tap it out, just like I would do normally. And I'm using quite a light shade because we're going to put a light foundation over it. I'm going to go in and make a mixture of some of these shades here. I'm going to be using the two lightest ones. This is the RCMA Foundation Concealer Palette, which I use in my kit. And I'm going to mix that in today with some of the Ordinary Coverage Foundation in 1.0N Very Fair. This is probably the lightest foundation I have. And then I'm going to go ahead and just dot this around my face. Oh, that's a big chunk. We don't want a big chunk like that. And to blend this out, I'm going to use quite a dense brush and kind of stipple it on. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out, and then I shall be back to show you that I look like a wee ghostie. Yay! Don't forget to blend it down your neck. Concealer, I'm just going back into the lightest shade from that RCMA palette and just applying it with a fluffy brush underneath my eyes. Okay, so I'm now just going to go ahead and set the foundation. The base makeup in this is very matte, so you don't want any shine on your face. And as always, when you're applying powder, you're better to tap powder on and press it in rather than swiping it everywhere so that you don't move any of your foundation. Once I've set everything in place, there's quite a lot of powder, I'm going to go in with some setting spray and just kind of melt that back down. So now I have that very pale foundation set in place, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows and a tiny wee bit of contouring just to give me some shape, because I unfortunately do not have the cheekbones of Emma Stone. Very sadly. The thing I'm going to do is just brush through my eyebrows and get them into a decent kind of shape. I'm just using a clear mascara for this. I'm going to use a wee angle brush and I picked up a kind of grey brown shade and I'm just going to use that to fill in my brows. Kind of just as normal. They're quite, she has hers quite arched, so we're going to mimic that. So I'm just going to do a slight bit of contouring just to bring some shape back to my face because I'm looking as flat as a pancake right now. I'm going to pick it up on a really fluffy round blush so that it blends out really nicely. And I'm going to work in circular motions at the top of my ear, going upwards underneath my cheekbone to bring a bit of definition back. I try and focus it more at the back of the face to keep the centre of the face open. I'm also going to take a tiny amount underneath my jawline because we still have a double chin. Nothing new there. Dab some in the temple as well. So then with a fluffy eyeshadow brush, I've just taken up some of that contour shade and I'm going to run it at the start of my brow there and ever so slightly down my nose just to give that a bit more contour as well. And as you do that, it will kind of pick up some of that grey. So she kind of does have a wee bit of nose contour going on just from the eyeshadow. And then just for like the teensiest, smallest, tiniest bit of colour, I'm going to go in with a very pale pink blush, run a lot of it off the back of my hand, and just apply it to the tops of the cheekbone, blending it in really nicely with that contour shade. So it's like, it looks like it's not there, but it is, and it will make all the difference. The lower lash line, I'm first going to take a black Kohl and run that along my waterline and a bit heavier on the outer corner here. But I'm going to take that black all the way into the inner waterline. I'm just going to take that angle brush and some of the black eyeshadow and use that to connect the top lash line to the lower lash line and ever so slightly smoke out this outer corner, but she doesn't have anything in this inner portion here. Now I'm just going to draw a very thin black line on my upper lashes. She doesn't have a winged liner, it's just there to define her eyes. So I just went ahead and finished the other side of my face off camera, and I also added the wee beauty mark and I put a pair of very small false eyelashes on and I kind of concentrated them more on the outer edge and put some mascara on my upper and my lower lashes. So it's just the lips now, makeup wise, and then I will do my hair off camera because that might take a while. So the actual lip shape that they've done for Cruella is very different to Emma Stone's actual lip shape. It's a very pointed Cupid's bow and then it kind of goes flat out. It's actually very reminiscent of the animation. I'm going to outline my lips first and then I'm going to fill them in using probably this shade here. That's the lips on. I'm going to go ahead and fix my hair and chuck on a more Cruella-esque outfit and I'll be back to show you the finished look. So there we have it guys, that is the finished look inspired by the new Cruella movie coming out with Emma Stone. I think this look turned out so much fun, and I mean the hair is going to be a nightmare to get out, but it's so worth it. I mean it's so fluffy. There's so much hairspray on it though. a full can. As always, everything that I have used will be listed down below, as well as all of my social media links. Make sure you go and give me a like and a follow on them, and make sure you thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye! This is a new level of strange looks to start with. I'm excited. What's wrong with me? Don't answer that. from the I can't speak today. Cruella. It's a nice roll off the tongue. Cruella. So one of the many reasons that I am excited for this makeup is because it is Disney, and I love Disney. I mean, make myself look as beautiful as Emma Stone, that's going to be a challenge. It wasn't identical to the cartoon version, or even the anime. The cartoon version and the animated are the same thing. My eyeshadow palette just fell. That's not helpful. Look at my hair go. Whee! If you have all enjoyed this video, I personally had a great time today. Dog. Puppies.